What up, my motherfuckers? How y'all doing today? I'm doing all right. I'm just sitting here weed worshiping, pothead pontificating, if you will. If you're new to the show, I am Deception, and I am starting a couple organizations called the Fuck You Party, New Political Movement, and the Church of Reason and Education, or CORE. It's a church to me because I'm a theist. If you're agnostic or atheist, you're still welcome. For agnostics, it's a community of education and reason. And for atheists, it's a cult of education and reason. Because churches and cults, two sides, same coin. Just a positive belief and a negative belief. But although I'm using those terms correctly and in context, I call myself Deception. So, yeah, I am using those words correctly, but sort of tongue in cheek. And stick around and listen to me. I find myself over the past several weeks asking a question, though. Should I ask you guys to follow me? Now, I need you to follow me. I mean, the changes I have in mind are big, and they're going to be hurtful to billions. But I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to look around and realize that something's seriously wrong in the world. And I think the only way we're going to do that is to step out of our prejudices, stand together, and say, all right, fuck this shit. So that's what I'm about. I reject fame and fortune. I mean, look at this. I don't really give a fuck what I look like. I don't really give a fuck what you think about it. I'm just me, dirty old bastard with high-speed internet. I have been a pain in the ass to society, schools, bosses, commanding officers. I don't really look at it as disrespect to authority so much. I look at it more as authority being disrespectful to me. I'm just doing my thing. Get your nose out of my business, you know? If I ain't hurting nobody, I don't really want to fucking hear about it. But I'm an idealist, and I live in a simple world, and the reality is we do not live in a simple world. So I don't do the look at me stuff. Although, I mean, if you look at my socials and shit, I've got a few followers, but I've never paid for advertising. I've never really, only ever thing I've done is just popped online and talked some shit about my point of view. That's going to start changing here in the next couple of, or going forward. I've got to put more focus on my content, or so I got to start trying to generate followers and clicks. It's really counterculture, or not counterculture, counterintuitive to my id. I've got a lot of issues, and I've had a lot of issues my entire life. And I've always had to work really hard on keeping those issues locked down, in control. Many people think they've seen me upset, lose control. There's a couple people that have seen me angry, but nobody's ever seen me lose control. Well, I suppose none of you ever have. So I'm stuck. Should I? How do I get people to follow me without getting them to follow me? I don't fucking know. And I don't know that you should follow me. I mean, I need you to. Don't get me wrong, for what I'm doing. I need you all to click follow, forward, whatever the fuck the whole shit kabang and caboodle is. I need to collaborate. I need attention. I need the whole fucking world to look at me and listen to what I'm saying. But I don't know if you should. I've had a complicated life. I've seen some shit, and it's given me a worldview that is no better, no worse than anybody else. It's just difficult to deal with. Um, it's difficult to live in. It's really fucking difficult to be around. My mom accused me recently, many people have accused me recently, of always having to be right. And I can concede their point, but I feel that they misinterpret what's happening. Being right is absolutely irrelevant to me. It doesn't even register. It's just a it just is. It just happens. Life goes on. It's like breathing and drinking water. It just something that I experience frequently. I don't really think about it. I got in an argument with I thought he was a friend, but I got in an argument with a guy back in 2025, and he had made a comment about that, and so I was trying to identify a time where I had been right. And I had some criteria for this. It's not like if somebody tells you online, "Mass don't work, libtard." That's not necessarily being right. Just establishing a scientific fact. Well, masks do work. They reduce the spread of germ disease from yourself to others by stopping the water molecules. Granted, you're right, but you didn't change a point of view. The person that said it probably wasn't even really being honest. My criteria for being right, I had to have been engaged in a conversation or argument with somebody and had to have had changed their point of view through the conversation. And I figured, when I started thinking about it, I was like, I'll come up with a good example. Well, it took me a couple days, literally a couple days, to identify an instance where I had been arguing with somebody and I presented evidence and they said, "Oh, wow, all right, yeah, I see what you're saying." And it was actually a Trumper, of all things. And this was a long time ago, 2016, maybe 2015, I'm not sure. It was in the early days. And this Facebook friend had started getting in the Trump cult, and it was before all the big articles and stuff about him, but I had just incidentally known about his legal history, his real estate failings, and a lot of that other stuff. There was a lot of chatter about it, but it wasn't real big news, widely available stuff. A lot of people weren't paying attention. And there hadn't been that real, I don't remember when that big article came out about this. I feel like that was later in teens or something, about his New York Times thing about his history of litigation. I'm pretty sure that was well into his presidency, but I had an incidental knowledge of his history of real estate lawsuits from, I feel like it was when I was in boatwright engineering, civil engineering, but I had heard something about that real estate guy, Trump, and his history of being sued for his contractors. And I was arguing with this guy who was as far as I know, an upper middle class Caucasian American, typical Trump fan. And I think he may have been a Cowboys fan. We had a lot of similarities, guns and explosions and shit. But I was telling him, like, dude, Trump is a piece of shit. I don't know why you're barking up that tree. It's a waste of time. He schemes from everybody. And he's like, nah, man, Trump's rich. He knows what he's doing. You just don't fucking understand how money works and this and that and the other. And so I did a couple Google searches and came back with a list of 10 different instances Trump had been sued in business things for various reasons by various people over, I think, a 20-year period. And I came back to him and I dropped him in the chat. And I'm like, listen, dude, I just spent 5 minutes on this. Let me know what you think is bullshit here. And hand to God, a couple hours later, the guy said, okay, all right, I was mistaken. I should look a little more into this history of litigation. And to my knowledge, I think he flipped being Trump. And that was like the first and only time. I mean, again, that was 2016. It took me like 4 days to remember that. Being right doesn't mean shit to me. Being wrong, that causes problems. Being wrong is a serious pain in my ass, which becomes a pain in yours. I'm going to pause, refresh. Love you always and forever. Be right back. Puff, puff, pass. This is your time for a smoke break, is what I'm saying. All right, that smoke break was brought to you by I Like to Get High, hashtag weed worship. So, should you follow me? I need you to, but that's not the question. Now, the nature of my id is very problematic for people. If you ask the people that are most important to me, my children, my daughter, and my son, I am not worthy of speaking to, being around, or communicating with. So, I will never have the audacity or arrogance to claim I am a good man. I am a complicated, fractured soul who's caused a lot of harm he didn't realize to a lot of people. And I don't know how I'm going to fix that. I don't know that I cared to try at all. I spent 20 fucking years to stop it. Nobody gave a fuck, so I just have to accept the reality and do my thing. Luckily, the nature of my psychosis makes that quite capable. So should you follow me? Well, the people I love the most don't. So the way I see the world hurts people's feelings. I'm working on how I can bridge the gap between the cold totality of my reality and the frilly frou-fra of your society. Because y'all, the nature of our fucking society is just insane from top to bottom. It's probably got you sitting there alone asking, why the fuck is everything so crazy? What the fuck is wrong with me? Nothing, man. Not a fucking thing. You're just not as insane as the rest of them. You're starting to realize that there's shit seriously wrong with the fundamental nature of our society. And I'm not talking about the pedophile baby eating. It's so much deeper, broader, so much older than that. It makes no fucking sense, the nature of our species. It's just, if you ever stop and take an objective analysis of the nature of our reality, it just falls apart. It doesn't hold out. I mean, the fundamental lie of society, you got to earn your keep. Everybody's told you that since the day you were born. You got to earn your keep. But it was your mom and dad who got horny and created you. You ain't got to earn shit. You did not ask for this existence. You did not ask to be born into this. And that's not arrogance, pride, or laziness. That's just mathematical facts. I can't be held accountable for a contract I didn't volunteer for. And yet the entire nature of our society depends on exactly that. It depends on me accepting responsibility for a contract I didn't fucking request. Yo, we are fucking insane. I mean, if you ever stop and look at the history of humanity, it's just the same shit over and over and over again. We create all these mythos and ideas that good guys and bad guys, but it's all just a few controlling everything and forcing us to murder and hurt each other so they can have more. A couple of years ago, I stopped and I did the math on my life. I'm not sure exactly when this happened. I was in a dark place at that time. It was sometime around 2013, 2015, I think. It was before my father passed and way before I heard of an inheritance. But it might have been just months before that. I don't remember exactly, but I sat down and I did the math. And what I mean by that is I analyzed the time and effort I was putting into my family, trying to do and be things for them, do things with them, and try to find time for them and me, and the time I was putting in at work. And I was looking at the things I was getting back from it. The time they were willing to spend with me, the time they wanted to do things with me, the time they wanted to talk to me and listen to me. Um, and it was a heartbreaking realization. Um, I was literally able to account for the time I spent talking to my kids in like minutes. And not like minutes per week, but like minutes per month. And they were the most brilliant little sons. They were so incredible. They didn't want to hear anything I had to say. They didn't want to listen to me. They incidental talk to me about superhero movies or something that we had seen, but having conversations with me, nah, it's not their fault. That's the nature of my id. He smashes ids. He tears apart illusions. He shows you the ugly side of society and life that he's stuck with all the time. That's not really fair to you. Because I see a lot more to life than that. The only way I can see the brutality of life is to see the beauty in it too. I'm actually, if you ever need somebody to pick you up and cheer you up, I'm an incredible person to talk to. I can show you how they wronged you and how you're a good person. Good is a relative term. Show you how you're a person of concern and compassion. I just have a way to see the totality of life. I can break bread with the worst, the best. I've always looked at myself as what I call a social chameleon. I can blend in everywhere, but I don't really fit in anywhere. I don't know. In my 40s or so, I got kind of fucking tired of fitting in. And I started doing this. I don't regret it. I like it. It's kind of like body armor. It's like it works as a check valve against you. If you're going to look at me and jump to a conclusion, I ain't got to worry about your point of view. You show me that you're probably not worth my time. I'm no better than you, no worse than you. I'm just not going to waste my time on somebody that's not going to bother to give me a little bit of decency because I look a little different. So, should you follow me? Well, I need you to, but is that enough? I hope so. I have some plans, but I need a couple of followers to make it happen. I think we can all take a look around and realize it's what's happening in our society isn't working for anybody. I think we need to do something different. So, Choppy is the Happy Guillotine, and he intends to get rid of the Republican and Democratic Party. That is not a threat to their flesh, just to their ideologies. I accuse both parties of coordinated treason against our society. They are actively destroying our nation, in their hands. I say fuck that shit. Should you follow me? Probably not. I'm that guy your mama warned you about. If you give a fuck, if you want something different, if you want to burn that fucking swamp down, think the button's down there somewhere. I don't know how any of this shit works. Love you always and forever.